time is it then? Please tell these guys.
It's Tony time, bitches!
Welcome to Tony's MMA Corner, and today we acknowledge what will likely be the twilight of the beautifully violent career of Diego the Nightmare Sanchez. With all due respect to Mark Coleman, the master of ground and pound Diego Sanchez has recently signed to Eagle FC, the modern day master of ground and pound Khabib's organization. And the Nightmare himself has talked about retirement after his career in Eagle FC. Before we get into all that, if you click the link in the description, you too can own Tony's MMA Corner I'm Just a Fan of Violence merchandise. Much like me, I'm sure Diego Sanchez has made you guys all fans of violence. The Nightmare has given us great memories in his illustrious UFC career, and we are going to go over those very memories. If you have been following the UFC as long as I have, then Diego Sanchez ground and pounded his way into your heart on The Ultimate Fighter. He was the crazy yoga guy who drew energy from the storm and ultimately won the final by smashing a very game Kenny Florian. Shortly after this, Mr. Sanchez was matched up with Stockton's own Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz had already made a name for himself by KOing Robbie Lawler, so everyone at the time was very excited about this matchup. And if you can believe it, Nick Diaz had a chip on his shoulder about this one as well. The backstory behind this one was that Diaz didn't like the fact that these Ultimate Fighter guys were getting shine even though he was paying his dues. Not much has changed with the Diaz brothers. As expected, this bout was a back and forth war in which wrestling was ultimately the difference, which has always been the Achilles heel of the Diaz brothers. Another favorite matchup of mine was when Diego Sanchez was matched up against the judo master, Caro the Heat Parisian. While Caro did hit a lot of his signature judo throws in this matchup, Mr. Sanchez turned up the heat on Parisian, knocking out a tooth in this bout. Parisian would later say that the reason for this tooth falling out of his face was because Tito Ortiz forgot to put his mouthpiece back in his mouth between rounds. Good job, Tito. Another epic win for Mr. Sanchez. Another fond memory of mine was when Diego Sanchez made quick work of Joe Riggs by landing his lead hook and then steamrolling him with the knee to knock him dead. It was at this point that I thought Mr. Sanchez would face the legendary Matt Hughes for the welterweight title. Unfortunately, that matchup never happened. Although the Nightmare had a pretty epic career in the welterweight division, the welterweights wrestling and size were catching up to Diego. As a result, we got to see some epic matchups at the lower weight classes, one of which was against Clay the Carpenter Guida. This matchup was entertaining in all aspects. It started off with the Tony Robbins inspired yes chant walkout. You the man, Tony Robbins. Diego Sanchez could be heard screaming at the octagon with Clay Guida inside, yelling, "Let's get it, homie!" These guys stood toe to toe for 3 rounds in which Diego landed a rare head kick. Guida matched him with the wrestling, but ultimately Mr. Sanchez edged him in the violence. A lesser known fight in the Nightmare's career was his bout against Paulo Thiago. This is another bout where both competitors decided to throw caution to the wind. There were some epic moments in this fight in which Diego picks up Thiago and goes completely full Matt Hughes on him with a devastating double leg slam. These gentlemen swung to the last bell with Diego mounted on him and Paulo trying to punch from bottom out. Amazing. Last, but certainly not least, was Diego's bout with Gilbert Melendez. Each round of this fight had wild exchanges. Ultimately, Gilbert ends up beating Diego Sanchez. But Diego Sanchez, with his crimson mask, wins the heart of the crowd and is remembered more than the winner, Gilbert Melendez. Look at some of these exchanges. Before Masvidal was crowned the BMF, and before Nate was put on the world stage by handing Conor his first UFC loss, there was Diego, the Nightmare, Sanchez. A fighter's fighter, a man respected by all the fans. The guy that when you watched his fights, you knew he was gonna go balls to the wall. Thank you for all of the memories, Diego. And we'll see you guys next time on Tony's MMA Corner.